Right. Light is with him on the right side. Niebrich a shotgun, he's got Kuntz with him. It's a play fake right over the middle, and Wetzel has it for a touchdown in the middle of the end zone. Kemp drops back under pressure, now throws deep left side, and this one's going to be intercepted. Chapman has a lane across the 10, and he walks in for a Fordham touchdown. Threatening once again, 2 wide to the left, 1 to the right. Niebrich takes it right up the gut. Creighton across the 5 and dives in for the touchdown. Creighton never got touched as he walked all the way in.
Hi everybody, welcome to another edition of Monday Night Quarterback here on WFT Sports. I'm DJ Sixpence, joined by Mac Rosenberg momentarily. For the first time since 1930, the Fordham Rams are 7-0. Folks, we've got a great show on tap for you today. Talk X's and O's, the defensive coordinator, David Blackwell. We'll be joined by the stars of the game, Michael Niebrich and Jordan Chapman. But first, we got to talk to the head coach, Joe Moorhead. And coach, 7-0, a 34-12 victory over Georgetown. Sounds pretty good to still be undefeated, only one of 5 teams in the nation.
Yeah, it was a tremendous day for the program to get to 7-0 in a very long time, to get to 2-0 in the league, and keep the train rolling down the tracks. It was I'm very happy for our kids. They've earned it. I thought our assistant coaches did a good job putting the game plan together, and it was just another great day.
And Coach, this team really has been all about the explosive offense with Michael Niebrich. Obviously, the 20 straight completions in the first half is Patriot League record. Can you talk about his progression from the first game of the season to this point?
I think he's had a steady improvement since the first day of the season, and his play in the Georgetown game was kind of indicative of what he's done throughout the season. He's been able to, move the ball in the short passing game and be accurate, get the ball down the field to our guys when they get open, and create plays in the run game and do it all while at the same time limiting negative plays. So he's done a great job thus far, and hopefully he can keep it rolling.
Coach, your first drive of the game, the offense marches right down the field. Let's take a look now at this clip. What was the key to success on that first drive?
It was a mix of run and pass. I think we converted some good third downs, and then you see here a good play action pass with Brian Wetzel, finding a seam in there against an open middle zone. And, kind of as he does, Brian has an excellent knack of feeling coverages and finding where the dead spots are. And, our play action passing game is a big part of what we do, and we're able to draw defenders towards the box and create one-on-one matchups on the back end, and that's what happened there. So I believe Brian has 6 or 7 touchdown catches on the year. So obviously he's a very integral part of what we do offensively.
And I want to talk about someone who's started to really break out for you guys in the last 2 games at running back position. That's Jared Creighton. He's really done a great job. He's done a good job of mixing him in with Carlton Kuntz. And we'll take a look now at his touchdown run because he's a guy that we know that he's a guy who likes to run in between the tackles. And just talk about this run here.
Yeah, this is a good job on an inside zone, hugging tight to the double team, and that's the great thing with Jared. Kind of getting into the fold here and getting into the mix as he offers a different style than CJ. He's a little more of a downhill runner. I don't want to say necessarily between the tackles because he does offer, good speed when he gets to the edge. But, in those third and short situations, goal line situations, or, we feel we have 2 tremendous backs, and the more we can utilize Jared, the fresher it keeps Carlton on his carries and receptions. So, it's obviously great, and Coach Zetz is doing a great job with those guys.
And speaking of Carlton Kuntz, Coach, he struggled uncharacteristically to run the football this past weekend. What do you think was the reason for that? Why did he have so much difficulty?
Yeah, it happens sometimes. I mean, Georgetown's defense staff did a good job putting a game plan together, and there were just some opportunities where we were either outnumbered at the box or some of the movements that they were doing, hurt us a little bit. And, I think that's one of the benefits of having the number of offensive skill players that we have that can beat you. That if Carlton's going to be bottled up on a day, then we'll throw it 45 times and have Michael get it to the receivers and to the tight ends, and if they're going to play off and give us a soft box and allow us to run the ball, then we can do that as well. So it just happened to be a day where it wasn't there for Carlton, but we were able to pick up the slack in other areas.
And let's talk about the defense real quick because it seems like every game they make a big play. Jordan Chapman had the pick 6 on Saturday. What is it about the defensive presence of this team?
Very opportunistic, very aggressive, and I think Coach Blackwell and his staff do a good job putting the guys in position. They're playing with great confidence, and the things we talk about are scoring offense, scoring defense, explosive plays, and turnover margin. And I think defensively, the 2 things that we've done a lot of things very well, but the 2 that we've done very well are limiting explosive plays and creating turnovers. And if we can continue that and stay on the plus side of the turnover margin like we are, I think we'll be a tough team to beat.
And Coach, you mentioned 2-0 in the Patriot League. You can't qualify for the title, but again, to make another statement with a big win, what does that mean to you personally?
It's great, and it's one of our preseason goals is to win the Patriot League. And while necessarily that won't come with the accompanying automatic berth this season. We we want to be the best team in the Patriot League and win the Patriot League, and we got a good thing started. We got to go out of conference this week, but we got to just keep doing the things we've been doing on a weekly basis.
Fordham, a 34-12 victory over Georgetown, now 7-0. Coach Moorhead, you'll be back for more later as we talk for Yale. But
Sounds
first,
great.
We're going to talk a little X's and O's now, folks. It's David Blackwell. The defense didn't give up a touchdown until the fourth quarter. Coach, what works so well for your squad out there? Because Georgetown, they're mixing up quarterbacks. It was a little difficult at first, but you guys certainly got the job done.
Well, I mean, it all starts up front. The ability to stop the run and make a team one-dimensional and to be able to slow down their run game. We knew they were going to come in, try to establish it early. And our front seven, the ability to stop the run and then force them into having to throw the football and control the quick game. The guys played well, had a good plan for it, and the guys executed it very well.
And you did a good job, Coach, of limiting the big play, I thought, on Saturday. They had that one big play to the tight end early. But other than that, really nothing much doing. What made it so tough for them?
Well, I think exactly what you said. When we eliminate explosive plays, and they got the tight end we were in man coverage and busted the coverage the first third down of the game, and then once we got that settled down on the sideline, we really limited the explosive plays and make a team earn their way down the field. And if you look back through the season, for the most part, we've done a good job of that. Where we have not, the 3 plays at St. Francis that were 3 explosive plays that end up in touchdowns, we have played really good defense for long stretches, and as long as we continue to limit the big plays and the explosives, then we should be hard to move the ball against.
And, Coach, the biggest defensive play of the afternoon was Jordan Chapman's interception for a touchdown. We're going to take a look at it now. What allowed him to jump that route and ultimately get to the house?
We got him into a third down situation, and we called cover 2, which allowed him to play a little more aggressive, hard corner on the edge, and so he could sit on the 3-step quick game route. And the splits gave away the route a little bit, and Coach Slutsky had done a nice job coaching him on that, and Jordan kind of sat on the route and made a great play.
And Coach, we'll take a look now at one of 2 sack plays on the freshman quarterback, Tim Barnes. We will get that clip up. I mean, you guys were dialing up the blitz packages really all day long because as a freshman quarterback, it's definitely not easy, and you guys took advantage of that. Let's take a look here. What kind of package here?
Yeah, we got into our dime package here, and once we got into third down, we were going to bring a lot of pressure, and we brought Stephen Hodge on an outside edge pressure, and he was able to make a good move and get free to the quarterback.
And then, Coach, the defensive line wasn't done yet. They would have one more sack. What allowed him to get that second sack?
Well, this second one here, we're in a 4-man rush, and you see Manny comes under right there, or excuse me, Slate comes under with a penetration move, and it really penetrates and forces the sack, and we got great pressure out of all 4 right there.
And Coach, kind of looking ahead to Yale, I mean, obviously your number 1 goal was to stop the run on Saturday. Did a great job. They had under 4 yards per carry. What kind of things do you stress to your front seven? I know you're a linebackers guy as well, in terms of stepping up blitzes or especially heading to Yale. They're a great running football team.
Well, they're going to make us play gap control defense, and the most important thing is guys being in their gap and understanding where the ball's going to be, and our support people supporting the run. And then this team will challenge you much like our offense does. They're going to spread us out to try to limit your success in the run game. And a lot of teams now are spreading you out to run the ball. So we've got to get numbers to the box, and guys got to play gap control, and we've got to blitz to stop the run, and guys have got to be very gap conscious and assignment conscious.
Coach, you mentioned DeAndre Slate before. He only had 1.5 sacks last year. This year he leads the team in that department. How is he taking his game to the next level?
Well, he has worked extremely hard, and he plays extremely hard, but he's a quick twitch guy. He's got a quick first step, and we can get him in some one-on-one matchups that we like by moving him around at 3 technique or at nose guard and try to match him up a little bit and give him the ability to pass rush a little bit inside and take advantage of sometimes a slower, not as quick or explosive guy.
And, Coach, this defense, I mean, they've made big plays throughout the season in games. But I think one of the things that I'm sure you stress is the basics, the fundamentals, tackling, covering. I thought that was really on display on Saturday. Can you talk about how good you guys are with that?
We've really stressed tackling. Every coach on the defensive staff does a great job of taking time in individual to work tackling. We work takeaways an awful lot and fundamentals. And, it obviously goes back to blocking and tackling and ultimately executing the assignments at hand, and it all starts with fundamentals. But our coaching staff's done a great job stressing fundamentals, and our guys have gone out and executed it for the most part.
Coach, finally, I asked Coach Moorhead this. I'll ask you. There's just one more game before the bye week. It's going to be a tough atmosphere at Yale, but what will it mean to have one more solid performance to get to 8-0 before you have a week to rest up?
Well, it's just the next game, and you know, we haven't really talked about the bye week. We don't want the players thinking about the bye week. It's just the next game, and it's a big game. They're a good opponent. They're a quality opponent. They've beaten a top 25 team on the road. They're playing extremely well and with a lot of confidence, as are we. And so us, it's business as usual, and then we'll worry about the open date Saturday at about 5 o'clock.
There you have it, folks. The leader of the Fordham defense, defensive coordinator David Blackwell. Coach, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate
All
it.
right, coming up next, we go inside the huddle with the two stars of the game. Michael Niebrick set a Patriot League record for 20 straight completions, and Jordan Chapman had a pick six. Two of Fordham's primetime performers. We got Michael Niebrick, quarterback over here, Jordan Chapman in the corner. But before we start, Mike, I know you got a big shout out, so let's get some love for Brett Biestek.
Yeah, I got a little bit of a shout out for Brett Biestek. You know, he had a huge part in that win for helping me out before the game. So I knew he'd kill me if I didn't give him a shout out. So I just thought I'd start the segment off with that shout out. So he really gets to see it.
So he helped you before the game. So what did he do for you?
I actually forgot my headphones on the way over there. So you know, I have a set playlist that I have to listen to before games, and he offered me his headphones, and that was a huge help.
It's the little things, folks. That's what it's all about. Jordan, let's get you in here. The defense had one of its best performances of the year. What was the key to success for you guys?
I think the key to success for that game was just focusing on the little things, like Coach Blackwell said in the other segment. We concentrate on those things, and we do them as well as we can. So.
And before we get to your big play, Mike, you had a rushing touchdown. We're going to show that right now. You had a great stiff arm. What was the key to getting into the end zone?
That stiff arm was the key. It was actually it was a zone read play. You know, what it's designed to do is me to, you know, just hit it absolutely downhill, and unfortunately I had to bounce it outside. So we have a kind of a you're on your own if you go outside rule. So you know, once I got out there, I knew I had to stiff arm the kid if I was going to get in, and that's what I did.
Always good with those rushing touchdowns. And Jordan, for you made the big play in the first quarter. The pass was basically thrown right into your hands. So when you jumped in front of that one, did you think you were going all the way?
Oh, yes. As soon as I saw that quarterback release that ball, I knew I was taking that to the house. We were in a cover two, just read the routes. Their splits kind of gave their routes away. So I was in that cover two and just stepped in front of it, took it to the house.
Certainly a big play in that game. And Mike, later on in the game, you had one of your best passes of the season. Thought Tabucky was going to go all the way with that one, but he just came up a little bit short. Take us through that big play down the field.
Well, it was a double switch concept, a deep double switch that we've really been working on throughout the week to really get good at. I had kind of been struggling throwing the post ball throughout the year, so it felt good really, you know, stepping into one, you know, and getting Tabucky some yards. Unfortunately, he's not a big yards after catch guy. And, he tried to take it after the catch and run straight instead of kind of keeping it at an angle, but it was just a great overall play and kind of, you know, sparked that drive.
And Mike, last year the big knock on you was that you really couldn't throw the football well. That's what some people thought, but this year you're certainly proving people wrong. Early on in this game, you have 20 straight completions. I mean, did you even know that you were throwing all these passes without an incompletion?
It actually hit me with about 5 minutes to go. I was kind of thinking, you know, 5 minutes to go in the half, I was kind of thinking, you know, hey, you know, I haven't thrown an incompletion yet. You know, and then with 12 seconds left or whatever it was, we ran a 4 verticals play, and I wasn't exactly comfortable with it, and that happened to be the first incompletion. But, you know, it was a pretty cool experience, you know, after the game, kind of sitting back and realizing, you know, the 20 straight completions is kind of, you know, an unheard of thing.
Yeah, no question about it. And Jordan, on the defensive side, the D-line was doing big things up front. What was it like to see those guys getting pressure, making your jobs a little bit easier?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. With our D-line, they play so physical and so fast. It makes our job as cornerbacks and defensive backs so much easier. Coach always says the greatest defense is great pressure. So without our D-line, I don't think we'd be having the success we've been having this season.
So both of you homecomings in the last 2 weeks. Mike, first it was you for DC, and Jordan, now for you in Connecticut. You play at the historic Yale Bowl. What does that mean to you to have all your friends and family there?
I'm extremely excited to go back to Connecticut to play in front of my friends and family. Hopefully everyone will go out, show their support, and it's going to be a tough game. By no means will we look over them at all. Yale's a tough team, beating a top 25 team this year. So we're gonna do what we can.
And Mike, you of course transferred from UConn, so you know Connecticut pretty well. Yale is certainly a solid team. So from the offensive side, you guys stalled a little bit in that second half. What's the key to consistency for the whole game?
I think we just need to get our identity back, really. That second half, I think we lost it as an offensive unit. You know, but that's something that we just have to get over. You know, it's over with, and we need to reestablish who we are, you know, especially up front. You know, those guys have been playing absolutely phenomenal all year, and unfortunately we had a rough second half. So we just really need to reestablish our identity and get back to what we do best.
Two of Fordham's finest right here, folks. Michael Niebrick, Jordan Chapman. I don't think it's the last time they're going to be on the show. Guys, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Coming up next, we look ahead to the Yale game Saturday afternoon. Fordham heads to New Haven. Coach, you're back here with us. Let's start to break this one down because Yale 3-0 heading into this past week, and they lost for the first time, but a very good football team. So what can we expect in this matchup?
It's going to be a very tough football game. You know, they've got to win over a top 25 opponent in Cal Poly. You know, had very convincing wins over Colgate and Cornell, and had a tough one this past week against Dartmouth. But you know, they offer a tremendous challenge offensively, defensively, and special teams wise. So we're going to have to be on our A game.
And Coach, you know, you guys are on the road again, and you know, you've played the bulk of your home games now, so you're going to have to really start to bear down and get things done on the road. What's your message to this team about, you know, executing on the road in a hostile environment?
Yeah, it's you know, Yale Bowl, big stadium, grass. So I mean, there's things that, you know, just like every week, they're out of our control, so we can't worry about them. So the things we need to be concerned about are how well we prepare mentally and what we do during the week with our preparation, how hard we play on Saturday, and how we, you know, execute our scheme. So, you know, if we just stick to those things as the foundation and basis of what we're doing, I think we should be fine.
Coach, the Bulldogs have a very tough defense. When you look back to last week, your offense struggled in the second half. So what's the key to keeping consistency through both halves on the offensive side?
The thing to me with the consistency standpoint is it was more of an execution standpoint than an X's and O's issue. I mean, you look, we scored 34 points and we fumbled at the one going in. We had a 60-plus yard touchdown pass called back as a hold. We missed 2 field goals and an extra point, so that's 21 points right there. And that's not counting some of the other downfield throws that we didn't connect on. So, to me, we got to just make sure that we're doing the things in practice that are going to prepare us for the game. So, to me, it goes back to practice habits, and the things that you see on tape during practice during the week are the things that are going to show up on Saturdays on the field. So, to me, it's a practice issue, and we got to get that stuff cleaned up.
And Coach, on the other side of the ball, you guys did an excellent job of stopping the run on Saturday. They averaged under 4 yards per carry. Yale averages over 200 yards a game on the ground. You know, what kind of things are you maybe stressing to your front seven, or you going over with Coach Blackwell about how to execute there on defense?
You know, offensively, they present a great challenge because they have a good, big, strong, physical offensive line. You know, Vargas is as good as a running back as we're going to see this year. Kind of reminds me of the Harbridge kid from St. Francis. Big, strong, tough, physical, but he has some, you know, change of direction and quickness that he can make you miss as well. Deion Randall's an excellent receiver out there in the slot, and I believe Furman is the kid's name, a quarterback. He has, you know, he's a good player as well. So we're going to have to, you can't just focus on him because they will throw the ball down the field and they'll hit you with bubble screens and things like that. But, you know, the primary thing will be to stop this Varga kid because he's an excellent football player.
Coach, a couple guys on your squad got banged up late in last week's game. Any concerns about your team's health going into this one against Yale?
No, we told them they can worry about getting healthy after the Yale game because we have a bye week after that. So, you know, now isn't the time to be worrying about nicks and bumps and bruises and things like that. It's a time to get healthy and, you know, start preparing for a very formidable opponent, and, you know, we'll get those things cleaned up. And, you know, there's a difference between hurt and injured. If you're hurt, you know, you'll give yourself an opportunity to play. If you're injured, we'd never ask an injured kid to play. So they got to know the difference between the two.
And Coach, when you look at that bye week, how important is it to get one more good game, one more clean win before you have that break?
Yeah, it's just important to beat Yale and go 1-0 this week, and then, you know, we have a good stretch run of Patriot League games after that. But, you know, we have to focus on the task at hand with tremendous singleness of purpose, and that's beating Yale. And, you know, once that game's over, we'll regroup and go from there.
Fordham looking to get to 8-0. Bulldogs, Rams, noon Eastern, Saturday afternoon. We'll have the call on WFTV. Coach, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, so that will do it for us here on Monday Night Quarterback. I'd like to thank all of our guests, the head coach Joe Moorhead, defensive coordinator David Blackwell, and the stars of the game, Michael Niebrick and Jordan Chapman. For my partner in crime, Mac Rosenberg, this is DJ Sixsmith. Have a great evening, everybody.